Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
This is awesome! This is awesome!
Hello and welcome once again to Cheap Shot Entertainment. We're going to take you through everything that happened at NXT TakeOver Cardiff, and it took place on the I'm thinking now, let me check my calendar, I should check this before. It was on the 10th, 10th of August 2019. I've been on holiday. This is the first video back for season 3. We're going to take you through everything that happened. It's brilliant pay-per-view. Some people are ragging on it, but I think it was brilliant. Much like it was brilliant for you to subscribe and hit that notification bell on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. You know how it works now, people. Cheap Shot Nation, come on, show us some love. So we're going to get straight into that. Don't forget to check out the channel as well. Just uploaded Soccer and Spandex if you want to see your favourite UK wrestlers playing a bit of football. Then check those videos out. It is hilarious sometimes, especially Big Papa Goose and his sliding shoes. We had a chant going on the show that was that night, and we shouted Bambi. So if you see Big Papa Goose, if you see Troy, chant Bambi at him and see if he gets the reference, because that would be really funny. And you've heard it here from Cheap Shot Entertainment. Anyway, let's get on with the show. We've got a lot to get through in NXT TakeOver Toronto. And so we head straight into the action here with the Tag Team Championship match. That is an NXT Tag Team Championship match. It is your champions, the Street Profits, who won the ladder match to determine a new tag team champions after the War Raiders had gone to Raw, been called up with their tag team championships, and now they're called the Viking Raiders. Anyway, Street Profits versus the Undisputed Era, and you know you're always going to get a good match out of Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly anyway, and the Street Profits are awesome. Really good match here. You've got Angelo Dawkins and Street Profits in one corner. You've got the Undisputed Era in the other corner. Both of these teams are going to be, they went at each other big time. Obviously, the Undisputed Era haven't picked up a tag team championship for a long time, having lost to the War Raiders initially, and they won their championships back, and it looked like a night of gold for the Undisputed Era. In fact, my prediction sheet said that the Undisputed Era was going to win all their matches and walk away with the gold, much like in 2003 when Evolution did the same thing. I was ready for this to happen. It did not. After some tussling and some fighting on the outside and some moves being exchanged from both teams, the Undisputed Era get the upper hand. The Street Profits come back. It eventually all comes to a head when I think it was Kyle O'Reilly got sent. No, it wasn't. It was Kyle O'Reilly that was in the ring. It was Bobby Fish that got sent outside. Angelo Dawkins went round to meet him, and they were fighting on the outside. Spear from Angelo Dawkins leads to a frog splash from Montez Ford, and that sealed the victory as Dawkins and Fish were on the outside and couldn't make the save. Tried to make the save, Dawkins stopped him from doing it. Your winners and still NXT UK Tag Team Champions are the Street Profits. Bring the swag like nobody can. I don't know what it says after that, but it's pretty cool. This match, it starts off TakeOver really hot. Obviously the crowd love the Street Profits, they love Undisputed Era, and it is often said that the tag match can bring can make or break a pay-per-view if you put it on at the beginning of the show. For me, it always starts the show really, really well, because you've got, lots of people in the ring all at once. You can get people going and just, you know, get them ready for the next 4 matches. Get the crowd going. Tag Team Wrestling 101. Nigel McGuinness quote there from this match. We move on to a women's match. There's 2 women's matches on this card, which is absolutely fantastic going forward for NXT UK and NXT women's divisions. And this one was not for a title. It was just a straight up grudge match. It's Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae. And this match was absolutely brutal. These ladies beat the tar out of each other from pillar to post, and it was fantastic. Such a good match. Don't condone women on women violence, but you know, it's wrestling. It's not really violence. But they told a really good story here, and it was a brilliant match. Definitely the underdog match of the pay-per-view. So it starts off with Io Shirai and Candice LeRae feeling each other out. Candice LeRae goes at it really quickly here, straight out of the block. She knows she's got to get the upper hand on Io Shirai. Io Shirai, of course, was a finalist in the Mae Young Classic last year, losing out only to Toni Storm. Her world's come crashing down. Kairi Sane's gone to SmackDown and being underutilised. And she's had a couple of title matches. One where she looked like she was going to win, and Shayna Baszler fell out of the ring dead weight and beat her in a cage match. That's where she snapped. That's where this rivalry started. Koji Clutch sends Candice LeRae to sleep after an absolutely brutal match. Brutal match. Really good match. If you want to watch some women's wrestling on the WWE Network, watch this match. It was absolutely awesome. Love this match. Love Candice LeRae. Love Io Shirai. And I like Io Shirai's character now. It's like evil. It's like pure evil. It's like manga pure evil. And it's insane. So this match saw both women pull everything out of their arsenal, hitting every move they possibly could, lots of near falls, and they beat each other senseless, and there's weapons and things like that, and it was just awesome. So go and watch this match. Straight after this match, incidentally, Riddle comes down to the ring. It's not on the card, he's not scheduled to appear, but he does call out Killian Dane, who has been on a rampage throughout NXT, taking out Riddle on a couple of occasions. And this part, usually the interludes are not great. This was fantastic. Dane comes out, answers the call, they slap each other about a bit. There's a nice Kenny Omega reference from Matt Riddle, where he goes, boom. And both go through the table, taking security with them as they fall off the stage. And I'd love to see a Falls Count Anywhere match with these two. Obviously Riddle can handle himself. Killian Dane is out to prove himself, having been in Sanity, and obviously that group has now split up, with Nikki Cross being the women's tag team champion on Raw and SmackDown, because they're obviously crossover, and not doing much with the others. Obviously Alexander Wolf is now on NXT UK, Killian Dane is on NXT, so it's looking good for the members of Sanity, apart from their leader, who I've no idea where he is at this point in time. So yeah, I'd love to see a False Count Anywhere match with those two. Go on to the North American Championship next. It is Velveteen Dream defending his championship against Roderick Strong and the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne after a sabbatical. He is back with a bang, and it is NXT that he's gone to. And a quote from Mauro Ranallo, nothing but nuts. Yeah, go and watch the show. It's been about a week since I watched it. Like I said, I've been on holiday. I can't quite remember where that reference came to, but it made me laugh. It is really, really funny. Notable incidents during the match. Dream plays to the crowd. Obviously the crowd are well into all these guys. He hits a sharpshooter in Canada, and that gets the crowd going here in Toronto, which is brilliant. There is a double Boston Crab by Roderick Strong on the Bruiserweight and on Dream. Strong hits his backbreaker. He is the messiah of the backbreaker here, and Dream hits the Purple Rainmaker to finish the match. Dream retains the North American Championship, pinning the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne, and like I say, he rolls Roderick Strong out of the ring and gets the pin after hitting Purple Rainmaker. I didn't have Pete Dunne not only losing but taking the fall in this match. I had Roderick Strong winning and Velveteen Dream taking the fall. But yeah, this pay-per-view was screwy in that way. The ones that you'd think would take the victory based on momentum have not. And yeah, it was a really, really good match. Really good. All three of these guys are fantastic anyway. And, you know, Pete Dunne, it's good to see him back. Sad to see they took the fall. But I understand where they're going with it. And obviously Velveteen Dream is just, you know, brilliant anyway. So I hope he continues to do that when NXT moves to the USA Network and Vince McMahon takes over. Yeah. So NXT Women's Championship is up for grabs next. It is the challenger Miriam and Shayna Baszler defending her championship against her. This one's a back and forth contest. People have been saying to me this is the worst match on the card. No, I don't think there's any bad matches. There never is on NXT TakeOver events anyway. I really like Shayna Baszler. I'm going against the grain here. I like Shayna Baszler. I like Mia Yim. I thought they told a good story. I thought they put on a good show here. Like I say, back and forth contest. Both have injured arms. Baszler attacking the arm of Mia Yim early on, and Yim returning the favour so she couldn't put on the Kochi clutch. I don't even know how, there's that many clutches now. They all look exactly the same. They're just sleeper holds, really, aren't they? Baszler trapped in the steps at one point, her arms trapped in the steps, and Mia Yim kicks the steps onto Baszler's arms, and that takes out the champ big time. Yim hits several arm locks on Baszler, goes for a tarantula, and obviously a tarantula, you hang it over the ropes. You only get 5 to break the hold. It doesn't last very long. It's effective, it looks good, made famous by Tajiri, of course. But Yim gets caught up top at this point, and Avalanche Code Blue from Mia Yim and a near fall. Go-to clutch is broken because Shayna Baszler's arm is not looking good at this point. Can't hold on to the move. Mia Yim counters this into an armbar. This is the most notes I've made actually on this show. And the Karakota clutch broken again, but this time into a leg grapevine and a triangle choke from Shayna Baszler, proving that she is the dominant female in NXT. Miriam taps and Shayna Baszler gets the win via submission. The submission magician retains her championship, and I like it because I think I predicted that Shayna Baszler would win. Yay! So yeah, there we go. And on to the main event now, which, wow, what a main event. 3 stages of hell. We haven't seen one of those. It wasn't called 3 stages of hell, but basically it's a 3 stages of hell match. For the NXT Championships, 3 stages of hell, 2 out of 3 falls are the rules, and basically both men got to choose a stipulation for falls 1 and 2. Adam Cole chose the straight wrestling match. Johnny Gargano chose a street fight match, a no holds barred, no disqualification, whatever match. And then William Regal, the general manager of NXT, chose the third stipulation, which no one knew what it was. I guessed that it would be Queensberry rules. I was a bit disappointed that it wasn't, and I won't spoil that until after I've gone through the first 2 falls. So the first match is scheduled for 3 falls really, yeah, straight wrestling match, it breaks down. Obviously, these 2 guys trading holds. Adam Cole says, "I've beat you in a straight wrestling match before, so I'm going to beat you in a straight wrestling match again." And it does come to fruition as Johnny Gargano hits Cole with a chair, and Cole picks up the first fall with a DQ. I could have predicted this. That's usually the way 2 or 3 falls goes. So you beat down your opponent in the first match, which is the straight wrestling match, hit him with a chair, get a DQ, and then immediately go on the attack in the second fall. That's exactly what I'd do. I'm a heel. That's what I do. Anyway, here's Cole with a chair. Cole gets the first fall. Second fall is a street fight. Johnny Gargano is continuing the beatdown of Adam Cole here. They fight to the outside. Adam Cole doesn't really get much offense in, but does try occasionally. Johnny Gargano does eventually pick up the win with the Gargano escape, and of course that has happened before, and this is storytelling at its absolute best. So what is the third fall going to be, as chosen by the general manager William Regal? It is a cage match with a difference. It's a bit like the Asylum match that Jericho and Dean Ambrose had. It's a cage. It's got barbed wire around the top, so no one can get in, no one can get out. And the only way to win is by pinfall or submission. There's no escape in this cage match. The difference is, in this cage match, is that there are weapons hanging off the cage. Ladders, chairs, sledgehammers, you name it, they're there. And yeah, it just looked absolutely awesome. Completely ECW here. Extreme cage, barbed wire, and all sorts of stuff. At one point, Johnny Gargano goes to the top of the cage, cuts a bit of the barbed wire off to use as a weapon, and you would not see this in the main roster of WWE. And going to the USA Network, you'll see probably less and less of this. I'm sure the NXT TakeOver events will still be exclusive to the network, but yeah, this one's just it's bat crap insane. But Cole does eventually pick up the victory. They both beat each other senseless with ladders and chairs and kendo sticks, of course. You've got to have a kendo stick, Kendo Nagasaki. Got his new book out. Go and read it. It's really good. And after a hellacious third fall, both fall from the top of the cage and go through the table, but it is Adam Cole who's got more about him to cover Johnny Gargano to get the victory and pick up the win, retaining his title. Got the first fall and the third fall, which means that he is still your NXT champion. This match was just wow, such a good match, told by two fantastic performers in that squared circle. It was just insane. I would watch this match again to take it all in. Obviously I was taking notes at the time, so you don't always take everything in. You've got your head down doing this, but it was brilliant. A 5-star classic again from NXT here on the WWE Network from TakeOver Toronto. Absolutely brilliant pay-per-view as usual, and it was to be followed quite well by SummerSlam as well, which was a big surprise. But yeah, really good. It was hard to pick the better of the two shows over this weekend, but we're going to go into the outro. I'll give you my final thoughts. And so that is everything that happened at NXT TakeOver Toronto on the 10th of August 2019. What a show, absolutely brilliant. The tag team match at the beginning was really good, got the crowd going. Io Shirai and Candice LeRae followed that suit with an absolutely awesome match. You then had the North American Championship match, 3 of the best in the business today, beating the hell out of each other for that gold. And then you went into a women's title match, which again Shayna Baszler showed that she has come so far since the Mae Young Classic 2 years ago, losing out to Kairi Sane. And proving that she is very dominant in that brand. It's difficult to know who's going to take that title off her at this point, with Io Shirai and Candice LeRae in a feud, and you've got to say that will probably continue. So yeah, she's warded off all challengers, and it was a good match. The NXT title match as well, really good, fantastic match, brutal, everything you'd come to expect from an Attitude Era WWE is now in NXT. I'm reserving the right to say that may change when they go over to the USA Network, but I've got to say, someone, in discussions, someone said that, everyone's like, oh no, Vince McMahon's going to ruin NXT. But someone was the voice of reason, and this was good. It means that Vince McMahon can see the talent before he takes them to the main roster and not misuse them like he's been prone to do for a long time. So Vincent Kennedy McMahon is going to have a bit more of a hand in NXT, with Bischoff and Heyman running Raw and SmackDown. So it's an interesting time for WWE. You've got AEW coming in October, and they're going to have a bit of a rivalry with NXT, and I think that's going to be good for NXT. They always put on a great show anyway, but it's just going to make them step up that little bit higher. And the one thing that NXT has over AEW is that it's all talent, that most of it is talent that they bought up themselves, that they've signed early on and worked with. AEW's brought in all the big names, so it'd be interesting to see what they do with that weekly show, what stories they're going to tell, how they're going to build up pay-per-views, because so far it's just been pay-per-views and t-shirts and I've got to say, it's so-so. So we'll find out what happens in October. Anyway, in the meantime, hit the subscribe button, like the video, hit that notification bell to know when we upload new content to the channel. Don't forget to check out the SummerSlam review, which is coming tomorrow if you're watching this today. And Stockholm Spandex, obviously the NXT UK stuff that I do, and all the independent wrestling that I go to. In the meantime, I've got some new contributors to the channel as well. Big Boss, you've got Josh, you've got Lee, who've come in and done a video for me, which is fantastic. And I'm also looking at doing a podcast with some wrestlers of Aspire Wrestling Alliance in conjunction with them, which would be really cool. Anyway, you are the Cheap Shot Nation. Don't forget to hit us up on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. And cheapshotentertainment.blogspot.com. There's also a link to the t-shirt shop there to buy your merchandise and show us love. You can also do that by sharing the video with your friends and getting us some more subscriptions, because they are the it's always say the be all and end all of YouTube, but I enjoy doing these videos. We hope you've enjoyed watching the videos. You are the Cheap Shot Nation. I am your host Luke, and we'll see you next time for more wrestling goodness and content from Cheap Shot Entertainment. Goodbye.